West Holmes Knights Football Weekly Preview Show on WKLM.
This week's Knights Football Weekly Preview Show brought to you by Keim Home Center in Charm. Matt Croy alongside Jake Sidle on West Holmes, coming off a 48-6 victory at Worcester on Friday. And Jake, a couple of early scores by West Holmes, including forcing a turnover on the Generals early in that game, really kind of put the more run-oriented Worcester team in a hole.
Yeah, especially when you get to high-powered, almost air raid offense like we've seen West Holmes have. You can't fall or get down 2 touchdowns that early, especially when your first instinct is to go run the ball, and that turnover on the Worcester's first drive really just stunted any chance they had to get back into that game.
Certainly you did. You mentioned air raid and Mason Wolf throwing 5 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers, and really displaying the variety of weapons West Holmes has on the field.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about Mason Wolf and Kyle Maltrich's chemistry, but it seems like he's starting to share the ball more. It seems like every week we talk about a different receiver having 1 or 2 more catches, and 5 touchdowns to 4 different receivers. That's just a good way to keep a defense guessing.
No question about that. And for West Holmes' defense, 3 more interceptions by them, and really doing a great job this season about taking the ball away from the other team.
Yeah, we talked with Coach Gardner last week about how many of these undefeated West Holmes teams have gone up to Worcester and come back not undefeated, but the West Holmes defense got out there, played their hearts out, and made sure Worcester couldn't come back to beat the Knights again.
Another impressive performance for West Holmes, no question about that. Now 6-0 of the season, and they're 3-0 in the Ohio Cardinal Conference. Alongside West Holmes Knights head football coach in Zach Gardner, coming off that 48-6 victory at Worcester on Friday. And Zach, we talked last week about Worcester being a tough place to play over the years, and it was pretty evident your players weren't going to allow that past history to affect their play. They were really focused from the get-go in that contest.
Yeah, I was really proud of the way that our kids came out, and I think that's a testament and conducive of the type of practice we had last week, and challenging them not to get complacent, and I have to give kudos to our scout team as well. We challenge them every week to make it harder on Mondays and Tuesdays than it is on Friday nights, and I think our kids take great pride in that. Our younger kids, we have starters that jump in on scout team, but most of it's our younger guys, and they're playing their part in what's happening around here in practice on Friday by going or during the week in practice for Friday by mimicking the other team's offensive and defensive schemes and getting us prepared to play. And I thought that definitely played a factor on Friday night when we were able to get off to a fast start.
Zach, getting prepared, that's such a big part of it. People think it's just talent. Yeah, that's a part of it here, but it's also the mental side of the game here. And it seems like this team has the physical, but also the mental side to get prepared every single week.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously you have to have the talent. That is important. You have to have talented kids. But when talent meets culture, that is when you have great success. And like I said, our kids are bought in around here. They understand, our lifting philosophy. They're bought into our lifting philosophy, how we practice, the mental aspect of it, the preparing for the game, the watching film, putting something into it. Because in life, you get out of things what you put into them. And our kids understand greatly about putting things, a lot into the things. And obviously, they're getting a lot back from it.
We know about the talent with a lot of your upperclassmen. How about sophomore Logan Zoller showing his big playability, the 2 big touchdown grabs, including the 96-yarder he got in that last game?
Yeah, we're just so proud of Logan Zollers, man. He was a sophomore who we put under the fire from the beginning and preseason practice. To play varsity football, you have to handle it mentally, and he's handling it mentally. He's handling it physically. Fighting through some injuries, and he just understands how to succeed at the varsity football level, and he obviously has the talent to. And we're excited to have him around here for years to come.
Defensively, we saw kind of last year how interceptions sometimes can be contagious. We're starting to see that with this group. They also 3 more interceptions last week in that game. How big is that, Zach, when you can kind of get that defense, that ball hawk defense? I know it's not by accident. Those guys are looking to make big plays on the defensive side of the ball as well.
Yeah, it's a mentality we drill in our kids during practice. Run into the football. When you give great effort, when we really emphasize making plays in practice. If the ball's in the air, go up and get it. If you have an opportunity to get a fumble, if you have an opportunity to make an interception, making plays is important. And our kids, that's something that they take great pride in practice. And obviously, again, that's transitioning over to Friday nights as it did again last Friday night when the Wolfpack West Holmes defense played phenomenally.
You're taking on Lexington this week, 2-4 of the season, 2-1 of the OCC. A little up and down this year. Zach, it's a team that certainly is capable of playing high-level football. What are you expecting to see as you take on this Lexington team?
Yeah, same old Lexington team you always see. Coach very well. They play hard. I think the new coach there is establishing his own culture, and you can definitely see it. They've had spurts of very good things. They play a lot of young players. It's going to be a challenge for us. Going back and rewatching the film from last year's game. Last year we beat Worcester for the first time in a long long time, and obviously to our community and to our kids, that means a great deal. So you can tell watching that film from last year that we were getting a lot of pats on our back last year, and told how good we are, and we started getting complacent and believing the hype and forgetting about what mattered when it comes to succeeding, and that's how you practice and how you prepare. So that's something we've been reminding our kids, because if you watch that film from that game last year, we're dropping snaps, they're getting pressure on us, sending three people, we're dropping passes, just not playing the typical West Holmes football that we've grown accustomed to around here the last 6 years. So we've been on our kids this week. It's about us. It's about the mental aspect of, we had this great emotional win that meant a lot to our community, and we've been hearing about it all week. We need to focus up, and we need to come out and prepare properly, and then execute on Friday night against the Lexington team, where if we let them hang around, they can sting us.
All right, Zach, thanks for your time. Good luck this Friday.
Thank you.
Jake Sidle here with Zevin Proper, and Zevin, a lot of loss on the receiving core from last year if there's West Holmes Knights, but you guys have stepped up in a big way. What can you tell us about what you and your teammates have done to really fill the gap left by some of those guys?
I mean, we've really worked hard in the offseason lately, and we've established that culture with our quarterback, Mason Wolf, and Nate Fair, Logan Zollers. They've stepped up big time this year, with Kyle Maltridge and Sam Williams-Dixon being the big key components to our team. That leaves us three wide open throughout the middle of the field.
You had a diving touchdown grab to end the first half of an impressive first half against Worcester Generals. Can you take us back to that play?
They really focused on Kyle, doing a flag route, and they left me wide open in the middle of the field.
Your defense, very impressive again against the Generals. 3 more takeaways. What can you tell us about the hard work your defense has been putting into this season?
Coach has given us a great game plan every week, and we stepped up and read the quarterback, and we pick him off.
And finally, getting ready for the Lexington Minutemen this week. What is your guys' focus getting ready for this matchup?
We're really focused on their hard running ability and then their quarterback, A.J. Young.
Well, that's Zevin Proper. Zevin, thanks for your time, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
Well, make sure you stop by Keim Home Center for their flooring sale taking place now through October 1st. You can save 15% on all in-stock and also special order items. That's the flooring sale at Keim Home Center now through October 1st. And don't forget about the Charm Days taking place in downtown Charm on October 7th and 8th. They're going to have a chicken barbecue also going on that weekend with the auction, the flea market. Of course, they have merchant sales going on, music, and a lot of fun. And you can sign up for a $1,000 grand prize. That's the Charm Days taking place on October 7th and 8th, and of course, Keim Home Center at KeimHome.com in Charm, Ohio. Well, Lexington coming off a 4-7 season from a season ago, and still searching for the first winning season since 2018. That was the senior year, actually, for Cade Stover. Of course, Stover now the starting tight end for Ohio State. Of course, he played for the Minutemen back in that 2018 season, and the last time Lexington defeated West Holmes, and Lexington was that 2018 season when the Minutemen came back from behind and defeated the Knights that year by a score of 34-33. The two teams are almost dead even in the all-time series. West Holmes owning the 9-10 record all-time versus the Lexington Minutemen. And as far as this season is concerned, Lexington a record of 2-4 overall. They're 2-1 in the OCC, but coming off a 41-0 loss at Mansfield Senior last week. West Holmes, they've won 17 consecutive regular season games and 11 straight OCC wins as well. And alongside Jake Sidle once again, and for this West Holmes team, I think the biggest thing is to kind of continue to stay sharp and continue to play at that high level of play that they have really throughout the year.
Yeah, and if West Holmes plays the way they have been playing, Matt, I think this is going to be another really good test for them. Lexington, they are not that team we've seen the last few seasons. They've played very close against teams like Shelby, and they beat Worcester, and they've played well against other predominantly good teams in that Mansfield area. They're just kind of going through another up and down season.
We'll see what happens here this Friday night. Now, a reminder, we're going to have that game here on WKLM. It will not be on video this week. We're not able to do it on video this Friday, so you can still hear the game on FM 95.3 and WKLM-FM.com. Our hometown football Friday night pregame show begins at 6 p.m. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. For Jake Sidle, I am Matt Croy. Special thanks also to Zach Gardner and Zevin Proper. And that's been this week's Nice Football Weekly Preview Show, brought to you by Keim Home Center in Charm, Ohio.
Thank you for watching the West Holmes Knights Football Weekly Preview Show on WKLM.